it's a little bit like getting your driver's license, but for a forklift. And then they get that certificate. And, similar to the leg up with the culinary track with this, a lot of times these warehouses, that's huge. They don't have to pay for the forklift training. They don't have to do the forklift training. These guys can walk in and just put on their resume that they have this forklift training and they're certified. And they kind of get hired right on the spot for that.
It seemed like the idea came about, several years ago, and then COVID hit, as everything did, which created, as everyone knows, right, just a hiring.
Right.
Everything's up in the air with hiring. So it seemed to be kind of the right thing at the right time, where people, a lot of employers were looking for people pretty desperately.
Right.
And we're able
especially
to
if you think of every warehouse that's out there has a forklift. Every Target, every Kohl's, everyone has one, and every single one of those has to be trained on how to use a forklift. And it's a lengthy process. So for someone who is coming right out of prison to get that certification, they can walk in and the guy next to them might not have that, but they have that leg up.
So 3 different tracks. So you talked a little bit about culinary and what that looks like.
Yeah.
So we're putting them into different restaurants. Talk a little bit about the operations of maintenance.
Sure. Operations, like right now, we, we're doing like lawn cutting and gardening, and we also then construction. With that, you'll get certified on becoming a flagger, and you get forklift training through that. And they're just really good because you see these people out in the community too. We're driving around doing lawns for churches or doing it in the community. So they're also then kind of feel like they're giving back as well.
Right. And then for community missions as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we have them doing our lawns, and all our properties we have too. So, it definitely helps.
For sure. Talk a little bit about maybe the soft skills and such we were talking about, and the resume writing in particular.
Yeah. So a lot of times when it comes to resume writing, they don't have a lot to put on their resume, so we kind of teach them how to stretch that out, and we teach them what employers are looking to hear, and then too, with an interview, we'll bring in someone and we'll have them do a mock interview. So we'll have them interview someone in the class, and then after that, then I'll ask the questions, well, what did he say right? What did he say wrong, and why? So they're getting the experience of an interview without actually going into an interview. They can critique someone else's interview and then in turn learn what to do when they're in the real life situation, how to dress, show up on time, things that, again, to us is kind of common sense, but to someone who hasn't been around that in 5 to 10 years, so much of that process has changed. And then too, we help them fill out applications. Majority of people now, you just do it online. Some of these guys and women that are coming out of jail don't know how to use a computer, don't know how to use a smartphone, so just teaching them how to do that and filling out an application and sitting down on Indeed with them. If the job that we link them with right away doesn't work, well, at least then they can know how to apply for the next job.
And that's a big thing. I know that I've heard you and your staff talk about, that it's not just here is go to Indeed. Like you're actually taking people to Indeed. You're actually taking people.
Yeah, we're right. I mean, because anyone can tell someone, go to Indeed and apply here or there, but we're physically sitting in front of a computer with them, pulling it up, and we're not doing it for them. We're more so holding their hand. We're letting them type in. We're helping them answer the questions, and we're letting them fill it out, and then helping them say, well, maybe say it this way, or maybe it might look better if you say it this way. So this way they feel like they're doing it on their own, but we're just helping them out in areas that they might think they don't need.
Absolutely. So again, my name's Christian. This is John from Community Missions. We're talking about our Tower Workforce Development Program. So the Tower program, as John was just talking about, is a workforce development program specifically for individuals, returning citizens, individuals in our parole reentry program that have been released back into the community to our care, or somehow that we are aware of them, and trying to help them to get back into the workforce or get into the workforce for a first time. So what does it look like? Can somebody else try to apply, or what does that look like?
We're working on that.
Okay.
That anyone in the community can apply, because it goes beyond the returning citizens. There's people out there on the streets. There's people out there that may have just got let go for a job that they've been to for 10 to 15 years that they don't know how to do these things either. So we're working on that, and we hope, maybe even by next year, we can do something like that. We've had a really good success rate. We've had about 78 individuals go through our program, and we're at about a 58% job placement. Some of it, they are like quickly promoted. We had someone get hired at one of the local restaurants that we partner with, and within a month to about a month and a half, their manager, keys to the place, whole 9 yards. So it's nice to see that them putting in the hard work and you putting in the hard work with them turn around, and we'll get a phone call and hey John, I just got promoted, or I got hired, and so just kind of hearing back from them of their success stories kind of makes it all worth it.
Yeah, we launched this out about 3 years ago or so, and I mean, early on, the idea was that we had a soup kitchen and we had a maintenance staff. So those were the two tracks that we were going to have it, mostly in-house. But thankfully, we had some partners that came along.
It's nice, like the construction track that we actually just launched, we got approached with it too. Okay. So, it's nice that the word is out there about Tower and people want to work with us now too. And, we've also, our weekend cook, we hired through the Tower program. So it's nice to kind of run them through, and, we'll take the help that we can get too, so it's kind of nice to have that at our doorstep.
A bit of an aside maybe, but I put you on the spot a little bit, but we also had an incident where she stepped up this past weekend.
Yeah, actually she did. She was downstairs cooking over the weekend, and one of the residents was choking, slapping on the table, raised his hands, and she ran and knew exactly what to do with the Heimlich. It gave him the Heimlich and saved his life. He dislodged the food, and it was pretty kind of crazy to watch over the video. So we were happy she was able to step up.
Yeah, the right place, the right time.
Yeah, exactly.
What a neat thing. But early on, again, we were thinking, with having the soup kitchen, that we would, be able to maybe, with the Culinary Institute, and of course that was able to happen. And then we figured they'd be back in the kitchen working all the time. But then the restaurants really wanted them, and one of our early restaurant partners actually called and asked if he could just hire our people before the time was up. Right?
And that's the thing is, we have the set time, it's like 8 weeks on the job training, but I mean, they called within like 3 weeks and we're like, can we hire them right off the spot? And I mean, please, go ahead. I mean, and at that point then the stipend stops and they get on the books, which, I mean, that's great.
That's the goal.
If they, want to take it through the 8 weeks to make sure it works, great. But if they want to jump at it and hire them, I mean, by all means.
By all means. So, any partners in particular that you want to talk about?
We partner with, like M&T is a big partner, Delaware North's a big partner, and Triple C Culinary School. Chef Emily's been great. She does a lot with a lot of our partners. And then a lot of local businesses too. We do a lot with them, and it's been great. Everyone in the community has been really receptive to the program, because a lot of times people shy away when they hear prison. They were in prison. So it's nice that the community was able to step up, realize what we're doing, and take our participants in.
I mean, several of the different restaurants downtown. Chef Bobby Anderson, we've talked about on this before several times, but he's got restaurants downtown that he's been a big champion for us, for sure. Anything you want to mention?
No,
as well?
No. Thanks for having me. It's been great. It's nice to talk about. It's been a successful program, and we are just looking to continue to grow it.
Absolutely. No, thank you for the work that you're doing. A lot of lives have been changed, people that are, productive members of society, which, we certainly believe that that's going to be the case. And I know Eric kind of has a story along those lines of somebody, that was in the culinary, doing the boot camp and such. And, he basically said as much. It was neat that, he got to learn how to do all this stuff.
Yeah, it's nice too then to see them out, and and like we'll kind of go to the restaurant if we know we're cooking, and they'll come out of the kitchen and, oh, how's the food? I cooked it for you. So it's nice to see them out and see a smile on their face and enjoying what they're doing.
Yep, and giving back certainly. But I mean, his thing was, because he was in the chef coat and everything, pretty early on. It's like, well, it's, the knife skills and all this stuff is great, but the fact that you guys believed in me to actually put the money and invested into it really meant something. So thanks so much, John.
Thank you
for coming out and talking about Tower and such.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we'll be talking about an expansion, how anybody can come.
Yeah,
and
sounds
and
good.
Be a part
I'd
of it
love to come back and talk about it
in the next year or so. So I want to recap a couple of different things that we talked about kind of up at the top of the show. We have a few different events that are upcoming. So we have an open house September 20th. If you're watching this after September 20th, we would still love to show off the different things that we have going on at the mission, whether that be the new programs that we're talking about here, or the new parking lot, the new sign, the new safety and security features, and kind of updates that we've done to the place. So again, September 20th from 4 to 6, we'd love to have you stop by at 1570 Buffalo Avenue, or give us a call and we can set up a time at 285-3403, and I'm at extension 2247. A pet blessing is coming up on Saturday, September 30th, that last Saturday of the month. That's from 10 till 12 at our main site there, 1570 Buffalo Avenue. Bring your four-legged pets. I always say four-legged friends, but we can also have some that are two-legged, or maybe a snake or somebody that doesn't have legs as well, that we would be able to bless. So come out, and that's also an opportunity to drop off your donations for our pet pantry, pet supplies, food, etc. Interfaith prayer service is coming up on Tuesday. That following Tuesday, I believe that's October 2nd or 3rd. I'll get that straight. For you, and so that is a neat opportunity to hear about mental illness and recovery for mental illness from different faith perspectives. And then Christmas, I'm afraid, is coming up far too quickly as well. So consider being a Christmas program sponsor for us. If you would be willing to go shopping for a family, or at least maybe a child, this upcoming Christmas season, we'd ask you to call Kathy at 285-3403, extension 2225, and we're looking for donations. Whether that be for Christmas, things like turkeys and all the fixings to go with the turkeys. So your cream of mushroom soups, your green beans, your French fried onions for your green bean casserole, and stuffing, etc. Other donations that we're looking for at this time are men's clothes. Our clothes closet is open 4 days a week to the public, and we take in donations on that 5th day on Wednesday. But specifically, we've got some women's clothes, we got kids' clothes, but we need men's clothes. So anybody that's out there, go through and raid your closet for things that just don't fit like they used to, maybe. We would sure appreciate that. And of course, you can also always reach out to us on those things that you see at the bottom of the screen there. As far as volunteering with us, we need volunteers pretty much every day for several different things. And of course, donations can happen at communitymissions.org as well. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching us this time on Community Missions, Community Link with Community Missions, and we'll look forward to talking to you next month.